Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do your monthly tarot horoscope. This is for everyone with their ascendant sun or moon in the lovely Sagittarius. Now, for those of you who watched me for a while on my YouTube channel, I've decided to try to upload these onto Instagram, mainly because I want to reach a larger audience. I feel like YouTube has been very limiting, especially lately. So like when I started several years ago, my videos were getting like 6,000 views and now they're getting like 500 views. Not that I care so much about like the views themselves. I care about getting my messages out there. I feel like it's important. A lot of times people really need to like hear certain things at a certain time in their life. And I feel like that's the main thing. I stopped doing YouTube full time and I work full time. I have a full time job in the healthcare industry. So I'm not really out there to, I do want to promote my videos obviously, but I want to just reach people. Like that's really my goal. So anyways, for those of you who don't know me, I am psychic. I have all the psychic gifts. And I'm doing this video to focus on Sagittarius, anyone with their ascendant sun or moon in Sagittarius, for the month of June 2020. However, time is flexible. So it could be, you could be watching this several years from now and it still may resonate to some degree. I am also going to be pulling some charms, whatever pops out, and talking about those, and offering charm readings going forward. I'm not sure yet. Those are going to be $45. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do those. So stay tuned for those. You can DM me if you want to do a private reading. It's going to be a private tarot reading. You can check out my website, oracledaphne.com, but DM me if you have a good PayPal email address. Tell me how much time you want and if you want to do a split payment. So your DM would say, "Hi Elizabeth, I want to do the 45-minute reading. I want to do the split payment. Please send me an invoice for $60 to this email address." So I'm trying to keep it more simple. If I don't see payment come through, I am no longer going to be emailing people back. That's just, I know it sounds really harsh, but I don't have time to do like 15 to 20 emails back and forth between me and somebody else when in the end they change their mind about the reading, or they change, they reschedule several times, or they don't send a payment. So it's just one of those things. That's how you do it. Send me a payment first, or you can ask me to send you an invoice to a specific email address, and I'll do that. So Sagittarius, let's see what we get for you. I have shuffled several times. There's this element of like going backwards. Now I do think of Sagittarius as like a sign that's like the recyclers, the fixers, the fillers, sometimes the stalkers, but not always. But I mean, it's sort of like one of those things that's like Sagittarius sometimes can go backwards. And it's not always good when they go back. There's not much of a story here for June for you guys. It feels like there is not one thing that you're focused on. Like, to me, it's a total lack of focus, which I've seen before for Sagittarius, and sometimes people get into this mode of being too busy that they never stop, and maybe they never really had focus before, or maybe they don't They're trying to multitask too much. But it's like, we've got this Knight of Wands in the center, which could be you. And he's looking at this card, which is the Eight of Cups. So, you know, checking out this person. But it's like, in the end, it doesn't mean anything because there's no relationship cards. So it could be, Sagittarius, that your love life has stagnated, okay? Has gotten to a point where it's like, there may be someone that you're checking out or someone that you're interested in, or maybe someone that's interested in you, but I don't necessarily feel like it's going to go anywhere. Later in time, we've got the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is a disagreement. This is also irreconcilable differences. So those of you who file for divorce towards the end of June or are thinking about divorce, that's you guys. However, let's go back to the love life that's stagnated here. Why is it stagnated? What is happening? I feel like what is going on with Sagittarius? I feel like you need to get your mojo back, Sag. Like, what is going on? There's not enough fire elements. We've got the Four of Wands later in time, towards the end of June, so that it is like, okay, you know, blasting off again, jumping, but it's like, there is this element of looking before you leap. There's this element of looking at stuff. And I feel like Sagittarius is very important for you to really pay attention to where you're going and what you're doing in the month of June. And in general, I feel like you're putting your focus into things or people that's not really fruitful. I don't necessarily know how you're spending your time, but I feel like time is passing you by in the sense that you're not really being productive, or you're not able to really focus on a goal. And that's bad. Sagittarius needs a goal. Some of you are overly tired. You've got the Hanged Man as the foundation. And to me, this is overly tired. He is just barely hanging on. And he's been hanging on for too long. And it's time, I feel like, for Sagittarius, for you to really let go. But it's sort of like I'm telling you to let go and you don't want to let go. It's like, you know, you're waiting on something, but that something is not going to come through. Whatever it is that you're waiting on, especially if you're waiting on money, I feel like we got the Four of Pentacles. Even if it does come through, it's not enough for you to do what you need to do. This is where I really want to break out my financial deck, because I feel like there's almost like too much of a money focus. You've lost your drive. You need to get your drive back. Some of you, it's exercise. Some of you, it's diet, because you do have the Seven of Pentacles in the center. Seven of Pentacles is, to me, a card about diet and exercise, eating the right foods. Some of you do need to get, like, allergy tested or tested for, just like maybe like a DNA. They offer DNA tests where you can get a DNA test to find out, like, what foods are best for you. I don't necessarily feel like you're healthy. You may think you're healthy, but I don't feel like you're as healthy as you could be. For whatever reason, there's like this loss of energy. And I feel like some element of detox needs to happen. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Some of you, it's like a lemon detox. But others, it's going to be more of like a full, like, to me, it's like a liver detox. I would avoid alcohol at all costs at this time. I know it's going to be difficult for a lot of you hearing this, because everybody wants to drink right now because of the stress. I definitely feel like there is an element of stress here. Because there's really no, like, later in time, there's this pop of, like, to me, joy and happiness. But it's like, getting there may be really difficult. And caution, to me, it's like, everything I want to say is about caution. It's like, I'm cautioning you to not multitask too much. I'm cautioning you to really focus on getting your rest. I'm cautioning you to not go backwards. I feel like this reading is about me telling you what not to do. So the way that you're going, either it's not going to be fruitful in the way that you want it to be, or you need to really figure out where you're going, because I don't necessarily feel like you know. I feel like you're watching, because some people do this. They reach out to me and they're like, well, what do you see? And I'm like, okay, well, sometimes I don't get anything. And the reason I don't get anything is because it's not going to happen unless the Sagittarius makes it happen. The Sagittarius needs to embrace that fire. This is like a deep fire that they have. And it's a willpower. And overcome the obstacle. It's like a horse jumping over, jumps one after the other after the other. Sometimes they refuse to jump. Sometimes the horse is just like not gonna jump. Other times the jump is too high and they get hurt. But you need to examine what are the hurdles in your life. And I feel like for some of you, it's you. It's not like this outside circumstances. It's you. It's you deciding what it is that you want and going for it. And some of you, you're not able to decide. Some of you, you don't know what you want. And some of you, you're too afraid to let go of the status quo. I do feel like you need to take a pause, take a break, take a moment to reevaluate. Your head is not on straight. No, I don't feel like it is. Some of you this may be the case. Now, I have read for people before, like, where it's like, what, someone has some really strong energy and it like overshadows. And Sagittarius can have some very strong energy. It's like... It's like they want something. When they want something so bad, it's like a desire thing. It's like they desire it so much that their desire overshadows all the other circumstances. So it's like someone, like say in a long distance relationship, the Sagittarius wants to see the person so much that they'll give up everything and sacrifice everything so that they can make that one thing happen. And at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't work out because the Sagittarius isn't really paying attention to the other finer details or to the things that really matter. To me, there's an element of obsession. And there's also an element of stress. Some of you may want to get married. I definitely feel like there's this element of wanting to get married and there's a delay in the marriage. Maybe because of COVID, maybe because of just you delaying it. There is a poverty consciousness here showing up in my money deck. And it is very hot and cold. Very hot and cold. It's like there's money and then there's not money. And there's money and then poof, it's gone. I can't tell you that there's positive things happening in relationships. I feel like if you're in a relationship, please message me and let me know how things are going. It's hard for me to say that it's really, really positive when I don't see that. I kind of just feel like it's like June might be like, as I hate to say this, kind of just like a bland time for Sagittarius. It's like something that's tasteless. It's like you're eating it, but it's tasteless. You gotta spice things up. Sagittarius, you gotta get your mojo back. You gotta spice things up. You gotta make some changes so that you're enjoying life again, whatever that is. Maybe it is eating spicier food, chili peppers. For some of you may have suffered some post-traumatic stress or something where it's it's hard for you to, I feel like you've kind of gone a little bit numb. This is what I want to say. And your taste buds, it's like you're going through the motions. Some of you are literally kind of going through the motions and you're not. A, you're not enjoying life. B, you're not even participating in life. I don't even feel like some of you are participating. You're There's all these things going on, but you don't care. I do feel like for some of you, there's this element of the light bulb going on. Now, this could be a light bulb for someone that you like. This could be the light bulb that needs to happen with you. If you're watching for a Sagittarius male, I feel like you're waiting for the light bulb to go on in their head. To me, this is also like a reading about extremes. To me, there's just like there's a love-hate theme here. We got the hate card. To me, it could also be like a rough patch. But it's also the hatred for what I call for a life that leads to nothing, where it's like the life that you're leading isn't fruitful. It's not giving you what you want. It's not bringing you what you want. And the problem with this first of all, is that any kind of phase where you feel like it's a rough patch, or it's like life is not giving you what you want, it's just a phase. Number one. Number two is that you have to, a lot of times in life, engage with life. And by engaging, meaning you can't just sit in a room somewhere and hope and pray that life gets better and you can just wait it out and go into like a hole. It's just not going to work. It doesn't work that way. You have to engage with life. You have to have the relationship in order to be free from the karma of that person. You do. You have to live life in order to beat the game. There is no beating the game of life. You have to play the game and live the game and do it. And this is really hard. This is like a very hard message, but there is no outsmarting this kind of energy. The element of the tunnel vision is definitely present. Sagittarius can very much have that. I definitely feel like there's an energy of forcing things. I definitely feel like there is like a pocket of time that's going to happen where it's like a lot of positive things will happen all at once. You may not be there yet, but I definitely feel like that's coming and that's possible. But I also feel like you're forcing things. It's a very conflicted reading. I'm sorry, but this is how I read, and it's very conflicted. To me, there's this element of like, yes, for some of you, there are a lot of positive things yet to come in June. One of those could be celebrating a new job, celebrating a new relationship, celebrating the birth of a baby. It's a celebration time. Celebrating, maybe someone graduated from college or high school, or, you may have teenage children, or, even if it's like 8th grade, it's a celebration time. But for others, there's this element of like forcing things, making things happen too hard. Like it's sort of like there's this element of like, yes, you're supposed to engage with life, but you can't force it. And it's really hard for Sagittarius, because I feel like Sagittarius wants what they want. When they do want it, they want it, and it has to be their way, and it has to be, there's like only that way, and it has to happen when they want it. It's just, there's a very controlling element here. Now, some of you may be watching for someone that's controlling, but I feel like there's a very controlling element. There's a forcing. And if you get into a relationship where it's been forced, or you had to force it, then there will be some lessons. That's all that I'll say there. I want to leave off on a positive note, so I'm going to pull some charms. This is a really challenging reading, but hopefully I'm getting through to some of you. Ooh. It's like a piece of amethyst in my charm bag. And to me, the crystal is about psychic gifts and spirituality, but it's also to remind me when I look at it of the beauty of life and the celebration of life. You got a little bird. It's a little bird charm. To me, this bird, like, there's a couple different birds in my charm bag, and this bird represents messages. A lot of times it's text messages. But to me, it's embracing your liberty. It's similar to the Aquarius reading. So you may have some Aquarius in your chart, but it's about embracing your liberty and seeing what things come of that freedom that you have. But it is also a message of hope too. The bird is like a message of hope. Also. I guys have to pull one more. Let's see. You guys got the bear. The bear it's a very special charm. It represents to me someone who really loves you. It represents love, but it also represents love from like a pet, specifically a dog. So if you don't have a dog, you really need to get a dog. But there also may be like a very strong connection that you have to dogs or to pets. It doesn't have to be a dog, but I feel like there's a strong connection to a dog. This represents a dog, but it also represents the element of unconditional love. Unconditional love and real love, like someone who really loves you in a way that like like the dog would love you in an unconditional kind of way. So if you want to know about someone, like if I held this up and you're like, oh, I know who that is, then that's them. If I held this up and it didn't mean anything to you, then you haven't met that person yet, or you haven't had that experience yet. And I feel like people are craving right now at this time to feel like they're living their life again, to feel loved again. But some of you may have never really experienced what it's like to have someone really love you for you. To really experience what that is like. And it's a very special feeling. And I truly hope that that'll come to pass. And I think it's important for you to believe that that's possible. That someone could love you for you. Because I think that a lot of times people get stuck in relationships or stuck in a marriage where they're not loved by the other person for themselves. They're just there. They're there. They pay the bills. They show up. They make dinner. They go to bed. But it's like this kind of robotic movement where there's no feeling anymore, you know? To me, the bear represents really being loved. It's a totally different feeling. It's a totally different kind of love. It's not a practical love necessarily. It's a genuine, real love from another person or from a pet. So it's very special, and I really hope you do get to experience that. Gonna leave off here. Thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you're watching it on Instagram, definitely like and comment. I'll be back for more videos, so please be patient, guys. I am going to try to record more, but it may not happen until tomorrow. So send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.